Welcome to the Dixie Belle YouTube channel. My name is Amy, I'm from the channel Flip It Furniture, and today we're going to be making over this cute little nightstand. I want to show you how you can easily use the Terra Clay Paint to give a piece of furniture a fabulous boho-inspired makeover. The first thing I want to do is clean the entire piece of furniture using my Dixie Belle's White Lightning Cleaner. I love this cleaner so much because a little goes a long way. I can use about 2 teaspoons or tablespoons. Make sure you read on the back of the jar the instructions, and you mix that with about 16 ounces of water, and then I put that in my sprayer and I just clean the entire piece. The top, the bottom, the sides, the insides of the drawers, the insides of the cubbies, just everywhere. It's a TSP cleaner with some other cleaning properties in it. And I will be swapping out this hardware because, as you can see, it's pretty damaged. There's a lot of those little rhinestones missing. Now this furniture is laminate, so I'm going to need to use bonding boss, which is an adhesive primer. I'm using it in the color white. They have white, clear, and gray. I'm using the white, and I'm covering all of those marks. They do not come off. I scrubbed and scrubbed, but they're not coming off. So they're kind of like scratches. I'm going to cover those, and I'm going to use 2 coats of the bonding boss. I'm going to wait 2 hours in between my coats and then a full 24 hours before applying my paint. And this is because the laminate surface is so slick, it's so shiny, that if I don't add this adhesive primer, my paint's not going to properly stick. And that's the most important part. Now, after the 24 hours of waiting is over, I get to add my base coat. I'm using Terra Clay Paint in Bougainvillea. It is just this gorgeous, gorgeous magenta. It's just pink and beautiful. I love this color so much. If you'll notice, I am using my water misters to spread the paint all around. I'm not really paying attention to adding this paint in one specific direction. I'm not focusing on no brush strokes. I'm just adding the paint because we're going to do a really gorgeous creative finish. Terra Clay Paint is water-based and it reactivates with water. So after I add my first coat, I do wait overnight for it to cure just a tiny bit before adding my second coat. Now, you don't have to do this. I just want to do this because I don't want my first coat to come up. I don't want it to come up if I'm using my water mister. I don't want it will reactivate with water. So you do have to be careful of that. And if you wait a little bit of time in between the first and the second coat, then the first coat really doesn't come up. But if I were to add the second coat right away, then when I'm using my water mister to add the colors, the first coat will come up and you'll be able to see my white primer underneath, and we don't want that. So now it's been like 24 hours and I'm coming in the next day and I'm just going to have fun with this. I have seen so many of the ambassadors and content creators for Dixie Belle do a combination between the Bougainvillea and then Marigold. And it is so gorgeous. I've always wanted to try it, and I thought this piece would be perfect. So as you can see, I just threw another coat on there, and now I love to use my round brush for this Terra Clay Paint. For me, the best technique every time I use Terra Clay Paint is stippling. It's like when you just pat your brush over and over. It gives the most gorgeous blend. And I don't wait and layer. I don't really wait a couple hours in between. I like to do on my second coat, just layer and blend them. And see, I'm even patting that brush, laying it on the side to pat it. So I'm not stippling the whole time. Now I have it laying flat and I'm patting it. I'm using both colors. I'm just being pretty random, just trying to figure out what I think looks pretty. And then I do use a dry brush because there's a point where things start to get muddy. So when I use my dry brush, it takes some of the paint off. It just gets rid of, like, if the paint's just getting too heavy. And here's what it looks like, still wet, but all blended. Then when it dries a little bit lighter. Now, I remembered that I wanted to add new hardware, So I'm going to have to cover these holes and then just drill one hole in the center. I'm using Dixie Belle Mud for this. And then I wait for it to dry. And once it dries, it did sink a little bit, which is not a big deal. You just add a tiny bit more. And that's what I'm doing here. I'm just adding another little layer. I wait for it to dry. And then once it dries, I take my sanding pad and I sand it flush. Now I want you to see really quick how easy it is to do the fronts, how easy it is to get that really cool like boho look. So I used my water mister one time just to get the paint on there, just to make sure everything is wet. It's just easier for me to spread the paint. Then I'm putting my Bougainvillea on. I just kind of did the outsides of the drawers and the outside, and then I put the Marigold in the centers. But I also bring the Marigold out onto the sides, like as you can see right there. So then I go back with my Bougainvillea brush and I just blend that with the stippling motion. Now there's not really like a specific idea I have in mind here. I'm just gonna stipple everything and add the colors until I like the way that it looks. So there's no like specific recipe for this. Just do it however you feel it should be done. When you say, "Ooh, that's pretty," then you stop. Or if you're just not quite there yet, keep going. We keep adding the colors until you like what you see. I think the whole point of the Terra Clay Paint is just to get creative and have fun and create some art. So don't take it super seriously and have fun with it. Now you can see that it dried really, really light. If I was to add a matte clear coat, it would stay this color. But I want this color to deepen, like how it looked when the paint was wet. So I'm adding satin. For the satin, I want to wait a couple hours, maybe even you can wait overnight to add your clear coat because it is water-based and we don't want to reactivate that paint. That's one tip that I could give. Maybe wait 24 hours or 12 hours. Just wait a long enough time in between so that you're not going to reactivate your paint. And then I did this the next day. So I add 2 coats of my clear coat, waiting 2 hours in between the coats. And then I decided for the inside, instead of adding the Bougainvillea, I actually wanted to add a little bit of the chalk mineral paint in Plum Crazy because I love this color. I absolutely love it. I don't know why I haven't used it in a while. It's so gorgeous. I'm going to have to use it soon on another piece. But I just did the edges of the drawers where I didn't get with my paint, and I did some touch-ups and it looked so pretty. And then I did the insides of the drawer, like the little drawer trim. And then from there, I just continued sealing the entire piece. You can see over on that side where I had sealed it already, look at the huge difference between adding that satin clear coat and just keeping it like if I had put a matte clear coat. You remember before? And here it is after. It's so pretty. The colors are so vibrant and gorgeous, and to get this finish, it was so easy. I just patted the colors on there after that first coat, just in a stippling motion. I didn't have to wait hours to put layers on there. I just did it all in that second coat. I'd love to know what you think about this project, and thanks for watching. I will see you next time.